hello, hello, hello. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so ultimately, this is going to be for Life Path 7 reading, right? So it's going to deal, of course, with a lot of partnerships, guidance, what it is that you will feel in different partnerships, relationships. Pay attention to that word relationships because relationships is, it's about the numerical aspect. Not only is it about the numerical aspect, but it's also going to be in regards to how you balance things out to within for yourself, like past seven, okay? And what balance is for you, inside, outside, all around. That's true balance. It's not necessarily about good and bad and better and all that other stuff, right? Pay attention to even how you gauge your growth and gauge your scale, for lack of better phrasing. All right, all right. So not all readings are going to resonate with everyone. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. That is okay. That simply means that this reading isn't for you. All right. And if it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. And just 'cause that's how you want it doesn't mean it will be so. If it don't fit, don't force it. Okay, like past seven. All right. So yeah, you done had a couple things try and come out in regards to you. You got privileged lady, main male. Okay. So ultimately, what it's given is right off the bat the partnerships that'll come into place would be the privileged lady in main man's life, or the feeling of privilege and what it is that one would be doing. You got 12 and 1, and there being a gift. Being a gift, being gifted. Anything else? Okay. An official person, sudden wealth. Concerns is the overall essence. So ultimately, what this is giving like past seven is what your concerns are within there being a privileged lady with the main and having a main male, and then the official person, and within being the official person, there being this sudden wealth or luck. It's given a lot of Jupiter essence, right? With this luck and official person, higher knowing. That's what it's really giving. So, like past seven, pay attention to what your higher knowing is. And with Jupiter being retrograde, I want to say Jupiter is retrograde right now. That would be something that would have an impact on you. A lot of people like to associate luck, right? Like past seven, with a person just happening upon it. But there's another type of quote unquote luck that comes into place. A lot of people don't like to acknowledge it because it'll be what it is that will be done behind the scenes, right? And they say luck is when opportunity, right, meets hard work. So if you've been working hard, those opportunities are going to come towards you with no problem at all because you've been putting in the work. That's not necessarily constituted as luck, but some people would see it as being lucky, right? Because they may not have. What that word facsimile keeps coming to me. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna look that word up, but it definitely, right, facsimile, or it could be about facts in me or a fax that needed to be sent. I don't know. Pay that some attention. Okay. And even with this overall sense of concern, it is yeah, because it's gonna be about, and even if we're talking about Masons and intuitives, right? Yeah, it'll be about the cycles that aren't complete and the incoming completion of the cycles, right? And what it is, if you're looking at this for the Jupiter aspect and how we could be seeing a person's luck, so to speak, right, as whatever, we can interpret it based out of what our foundational feelings are in regards to whatever thoughts we have about luck. But the other portion of it will be is when one's world would be constituted as upside down, right? Or the earth being in retrograde, or the earth going through its shedding, okay? And the other portion of this is the whole earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Right now, though, right, we are in the beginning of that Virgo Pisces axis. So pay attention to that portion as well with this uh manipulations, some manipulations of love in the spiritual contract. Yeah, the cycle, in short, what this is giving is that the cycle is still open. Life past seven, the cycle will still be open because there was some manipulations that would have come into place with love and one not making an offer. One not making an offer, one not or and some stuff that would have taken place last year with him being the official person. So pay attention to who this official person is, especially if you paying attention, if you dealing with this privileged lady, main male, right? Because one of the things that'll come into place with it, and it's kind of given, right, is if you are an extension of a parental figure. Fun fact: women used to be the juniors. It wasn't the men. It used to be a woman was a junior, and somehow or another that switched up and changed, right, to where men became the juniors and yeah, because men weren't constituted as juniors; they were constituted as the second or the third or whatever, what have you, and it would be a woman that would be a junior. So that's that portion. The other portion of it is going to be what it is that goes on with uh, who it is you would identify yourself best with. Okay. And even in this concern about, because it's given the privilege, like if you, yeah, alcohol, if you have like come from a single parent household where the mother had to act as the father, that's another situation that will go on. Another thing, yeah, another thing that'll come into place is the reciprocation with one not waiting. 6 years of one not waiting. In this spiritual contract, what it's really calling for or really paying attention to is the manipulation of reciprocation, claiming that something would be a gift. Like past seven, claiming something is a gift when the reality is it's not a gift. It is the gift of reciprocation or being reciprocal is kind of what that boils down to. Yeah, and how it's one of those, okay, if you privileged and you got all this stuff going on for you, what do you need this for? That's kind of what it is. That's not kind of, that is exactly what it is giving. Exactly what it is giving. Life past seven, I don't know if this is your paradigm or the paradigm that's being put onto you. If this is your paradigm, you need to sit with it for a second, see what part it is you play. If this is the paradigm that's being put onto you, that's a realistically that's emotional abuse, emotional and narcissistic abuse in that regard, and two, reciprocation, because in a spiritual contract, it calls for there to be reciprocation and one not having to wait for the reciprocation. 3 weeks ago. And then in the reciprocation aspect, it'll be about that, yep, the emotional manipulations ending. Okay, one of the things that is, yeah, because this is some major arcana, and this is about the whole court cards, court situations, being higher up, and what it is to be higher up. Funny thing, you have a privileged lady, but you don't have a privileged man. I just want to point that out. And then there being this illusion or there being options. And the reciprocation and the emotional manipulations ending, that's creating options and illusions in what it is that one would be enlightened to. Enlightened in with this sun card, with what it is that one would know, and the happiness, that all the happiness that's coming from understanding what these manipulations are in regards to these cycles not being complete. Because an offer wouldn't be made due to the narcissism that comes with having to reciprocate a gift or having to reciprocate. for what would have been thought of as a gift. Okay, so one of the things that's kind of coming to me is children, right? Children are gifts, but they're gifts you have to take care of on a long term basis. And you can't, and the other part of it is when you're dealing in different relationships, whether it be relationships, and when I say children, this is even the birthing of a new idea. It takes something to, it takes a form of reciprocation somehow or another, whether it be financial, emotional, whatever, what have you, right? In order for things to grow, you have to put something in so you can get something out, right? Now, the thing that comes into place with it, because something that's coming to me a whole lot is I was asked to have children. This is just me. I was asked, a person wanted me to have children with them. And after doing so, after making that statement and it being really emotional and everything, they turned their back on me. 11-11. They turned their back on me. So that's that portion. The other part of, yeah, that's the degradation that comes into place when you ask for something and you don't take care of it. Like, period. So let's see what this other party is. The horse. Okay, so in this gift of being the official person and having sudden wealth, you get accepting help from another and delegating authority. Ensure what it is for the authority to be delegated in communication and in trust within things manifesting. Okay, life past 7. So let's see what we got to going on as this is clearing out to it and for you. One of the other portions, one of the other portions that can and will come into place with this life path 7. I'm hearing something about life path 1. If you pay attention to what your life path number actually is, and if you're mixing up 7s and 1s, you might need some glasses. Get your glasses fixed. Get your glasses fixed, ladies and gentlemen. All right, especially you, life past 7, because that can affect your actual vision with partnerships. Because you may think it's one person or one thing, and it's another. And the irony that comes into place with it, especially if you have any gifts or you're a seer or things like that, that can distort what it is that you will see going on, because it'll be based out of your mind isn't processing, based out of the third eye, is processing out of the optical, out of the what's called the optical lens. And oh my goodness, it's something olfactory or something. So it's processing out of your senses, and you may have missed something. Overall essence of Queen of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, may be one, may not be, right? But the doing the love that's associated with standing in what's real in regards to the different lies, standing on what's real in regards to the different lies and what wasn't projected in the manipulations of one's happiness. Ensure how a person would have been happy with manipulating the privileged lady and main male. It's giving fucking up somebody's household. Life past 7, in this whole partnership situation, you should not ever be happy that you're on the mind of someone else. If someone else has been involved in another relationship, you shouldn't try and bring into, and say for instance you're in a relationship and they're in a relationship, trying to bring someone else that isn't a part of that relationship into it is where you'll have problems. I.e., if your baby mama or baby daddy don't bother you, why would you go bother them? That's one form of partnership. If you had a bad partnership with someone, right, and they didn't do what they needed to with reciprocating, they manipulated it and made it seem all of it as an illusion that they would need to reciprocate, but they have what's necessary in order to reciprocate. In short, that I don't really have to reciprocate, I have a choice, right? But they keep asking you to do it. Whatever it is, if this is in a business, a partnership, a person who can't produce in the business aspect, you don't keep that partnership. Life past seven. If they're not giving you what it is you want, you don't keep it. You go to another space and you see, because that avenue is being cut off. It could be another door that's being open for you, but you might be blind to it because you're focusing so much on what's incomplete. And you might have to complete. Yeah, what will be coming in is the completion of the cycle from one not make from the off for the offers of this person who is narcissistic, who's emotionally abusive. And the emotional abuse is reciprocated again in a spiritual contract through endings. Ending that feeling of one being nurturing in an illusion, or one being manipulative as an illusion. In short, you get to see the truth. A lot of this is about standing when how one will stand on the truth and another will stand on a lie. And the delusional aspect that comes into place with the person lying. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. All right, Life Past Seven. I hope this helps you guys out just a little bit, gave you a tad bit of an inclination of a few different things it is that will be going on. If you like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you are more than welcome to do so at Lightwork Ain't Lightwork LLC at gmail.com. Okay? Because see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It is not light work. It's not light work. And that's why you have to stay light while you work.